Next, I would like to introduce Ms. Shay Willis with Assurant Specialty Property. She has been with Assurant since 2007 and within the mortgage servicing operations there. Her team services a portfolio of approximately 2 million loans for clients, including Chase Home Finance, City Mortgage, and Wells Fargo. She is responsible for ensuring her team delivers superior quality in a high production environment while adhering to federal and banking regulations. Her tenure includes experience with claims, operations, and customer care departments. Also from Assurant, we have Angelica Newsome. She is a human resources professional with over 20 years of HR experience in various industries, including telecommunications, hospitality, service, and healthcare. Her current role is HR Director for Assurant Specialty Property in Duluth. She joined Assurant in 2006 and loves the organization and what she can do there each day. In her current role, she supports the Duluth Operations team, which consists of over 1,100 employees. She is responsible for helping to create a place where employees like working. She does this on a daily basis by focusing on building and supporting an environment of engagement, learning, and performance.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Ms. Shay is going to actually sit. Ms. Shay is one of our managers and will be able to answer questions for you if you want to know about the particular job, a job where employees actually work from home. I also have other business partners with me today I'd like to introduce. We have Dirk Buford, who's one of our operations managers in our call center. As I talk about Assurant Specialty Property today in our Duluth Center, we do not currently have customer service working from home, but we will in the very near future. We also have Rashonda Foy, who's one of our directors in our operations loss drafts department. We have Jack Petty, who is one of our analysts who I must give a shout out to Jack, worked very hard over the last 6 months deploying approximately 100 employees out of our Duluth site, but also our other locations in Springfield, Ohio, and Florence, South Carolina. So with that, I'm going to actually talk a little bit about our program. I'm in HR, not IT. There we go. Okay, thank you, Mary. This is a lot of words on the slide. Just an overview of our teleworking program. We actually started teleworking probably right when I joined Assurant in 2006. And it was the same focus. We wanted to make sure that we can provide an environment where employees can have flexibility. Everything that the speaker said today about flexibility. Our office is in Duluth, off of 85. The majority of our employees at our Duluth location commute in from the south, so they're actually coming 85, and we all know what the traffic can be like there. We were also very engaged in trying to keep our employees, so retention was a big reason why we moved to a teleworker program. And we also wanted to make sure that our customers get the best service. And with less distractions throughout your day, you can actually focus. And what we were focusing on was less errors. Benefits, plenty for the employee as well as for our business. Our Duluth location in 2006, we were in a one-story building. We had at that time probably 550 employees. We really only had space for about 450 employees. So we were squeezed into a very small location. We had what we called telephone booths, where were little mini desks throughout the building. And I'll be honest, when I started with the company, my biggest concern was, is Gwinnett County going to come in and shut us down? Because it really was not a safe environment at the time. So we started to push, what can we do? Can we do teleworking and what jobs? And then the benefits was really important for our business leaders as well. Gas may not have been that expensive, as expensive that time, but still it reduced the household expenses. Gas, maintenance on your car, dry cleaning, zero commute time, because again, traffic may be a little bit better today than it was back then, but still it was for most of our employees, at least a 15-minute commute one way. We wanted employees to have more time and flexibility with their families. There's a really good commercial out there, and I haven't seen it in the last week, but it's the one where the little boy is waiting for his mom to get home, and he's trying to get to baseball practice. And he and his friend are sitting on the stoop, and the friend says, "Well, where's your mom?" And the little boy says, "Well, she's probably in traffic." So again, with the Teleworker program, employees can end their day, just say it's 5 or 6 o'clock, and still be able to get their children to baseball practice or cheerleading or soccer or whatever they play. Less distractions. We've all talked about that. Even in my role, I'm probably getting interrupted at least 30 times per day. And when you think about that, you think about the commute time, really, as far as productivity, I probably could have gotten a little bit more done, well, a lot more done, if I was going to work from home. And then the engagement. Our organization is really focused on engagement, and when we've looked at the talk to our employees, this is one way that really keeps them engaged. For benefits for our business, I described our site. Today we do have space for about 1,000. We have 1,100 people there, and in some of our other locations, they're completely out of space. So when you talk about real estate, again, do we really want to invest more money in real estate, or do we really want to save money in real estate and just do with the space that we have? So that was a huge win for us at Assurant. Access to a broader talent pool. An example of that is one of our locations in Springfield, Ohio. They're currently recruiting employees out of the Atlanta market to support them in this Springfield location. So again, your talent pool is much wider. Increased flexibility for customers' needs. I remember January of 2011 very clearly. Our business pretty much shut down totally for 3 days. We have, again, employees that have children, that have responsibilities, that commute in from 50-minute commute. We were really hurting, and our customers and our clients were not happy. At the time, we probably had less than 100 teleworkers, but it was a huge impact to our business. So we built our Teleworker program into our BCP plan, and again, our goal is to continue to increase teleworking. So if we have another January 2011, we will definitely be more prepared. It also reduces absenteeism. You have employees that may get up in the morning, they're not feeling well. It's much easier just to call out than to go sit in the traffic and not know if you're going to really be good for the rest of the day. But if you're at home teleworking, you may not feel good, but 9 times out of 10, you're going to still work. And then again, for the business productivity, again, it's just a win-win. The expectations from our employees and the teleworker, they must have a designated workspace at home. Shouldn't be their kitchen table, it shouldn't be on the coffee table in the den where everyone goes to watch the football game. It should be a space in their home that they can actually close off for their equipment. The employees are responsible for the office equipment, so if they don't have a desk and a ergonomically correct type chair at home, that is something that they are responsible for. The workspace must be adequately designed to protect information. So again, having a computer on the coffee table where everyone goes to watch the football game is not a place where they should telework. Internet service with adequate speed. This was a big one for us as we built as we sent the additional employees home throughout 2012. They must pay for their internet service, but I believe the slide earlier showed you it's less monthly than a gallon of gas, a tank of gas. So they are required to make sure and ensure before they go home that they have adequate internet speed. And then we provide them with the computer. And in most of our jobs that are non-exempt positions, they don't have a printer. But in some positions, like an analyst position, they may also need a printer in that job. The criteria. We have to make sure that we select candidates that are dependable. So they're going to be home working, and they're not going to be home and they're, doing laundry and cleaning and vacuuming when they're really supposed to be working. They must be self-motivated. And in talking to employees, some have to have that day-to-day interaction. So they may not be the best candidate for work from home, but self-motivation is critical. They must be independent. They must be able to troubleshoot when it comes to their system or the computer. And if not, they must be proactive in making that phone call to the help desk to make sure there's limited downtime throughout their day. They must have effective management skills, because again, you can get easily distracted at home. You know, you can actually be doing laundry and forget you're supposed to be working. So you have to make sure that they have effective management skills. And it also must be employees who have demonstrated adequate protection of security. And in our business today, we are at our location required to lock up confidential information. They're not allowed to keep their computer screens up when they leave their desk. So again, as we're thinking about the right employee to go home, it must be employees who have already demonstrated the discipline to do that. The job must be a job that's portable, must be a job that can be done at home without any, day-to-day, face-to-face contact. It must be jobs that you can actually know that the work is getting done. Now, we do have a variety of jobs that work from home. Some examples are jobs that the work is actually in the queue. And Michelle will be able to, if you have questions around those types of jobs, give you an example. So the work goes into a queue, the employee logs in, the work is there, they're able to work without any interruptions. Jobs like analysts, our client services. We have, even in HR, the HR generalist 1 day a week. Their managers in different departments do 1 day a week as well. And then again, for the job, we just have to make sure that we ensure confidentiality of the data. Now, we really enhanced our teleworker program over the last 2 years. When I started in 2006, again, we had a program, but we got the support from our CEO and our senior leaders, all of that level and senior leaders. This became a focus for them at that level, which made it much easier for us to implement. And when you talk about saving $6 million a year, it doesn't really take much more than that to get the buy-in from your CEO. And then you can also demonstrate that it has been successful in the small numbers that we started with. Again, it doesn't take much to get their buy-in. We provided a teleworker we updated our teleworker policy and agreement. We actually provided a toolkit for managers and employees. And all the toolkit is a document that kind of explains what is teleworking. Because we have partial teleworkers and we have 100%. The majority of our employees telework 100% of the time, but we do have employees who may come in the office 2 or 3 days a week. We are looking into having some type of hoteling in the future, but right now we still have some space issues, so we're not there yet. But those are some of the things that we're working on. We are also working on an online process to make it easier for managers to submit the request, to order the equipment, and get everything started without all of the paper pushing that we do today. We're working on putting that process online. We also have a manager selection assessment tool, and again, that's just a guide for managers as you're identifying employees who would be good teleworkers, and just ask you some key questions for you to think about. Is this person dependable? When they're in the office, are they getting their work done? Is it someone who is proactive with making sure that they're meeting their assignments or meeting their deadlines? There's a home workstation set up because, again, we want to make sure, just as they do in the office, have a desk. You're going to be sitting there for 8 hours. It should be ergonomically correct. So again, we provide a guide for the manager and for the employee. And then there's also a safety guide. Because as all of you know who currently have programs, if the employee is injured in the workspace at home, it is covered under workers' comp. And these are just some numbers. I didn't calculate numbers as far as miles and pollution and all of that, so I was really impressed to see that. I'll have to go back and try to tackle that. But from 2009 in Duluth, we had approximately 30 employees that worked from home. 2010, it grew a little bit. When we look at 2011, we had less than 100, and again, that was a huge impact during that ice storm. But today, we are a little over 259 employees, and that's 20% of our population. And that number is going to grow even more. So we're excited about that. The feedback from the employees is they're loving it. A lot of them are saying that now they actually have time to make a healthy breakfast before the kids go to the school bus. One of the things that I didn't touch on is child care, independent care. So our teleworkers is expected to have the same arrangements that they would have if they were in the office. The benefit for someone who has school-age children who are big enough to come home on the bus, get off, go in the kitchen, have a snack and start their homework without disturbing mommy or daddy, that is the ideal situation. But it is not and should not be used for you to have a daycare or elder care at your home while you're working. As I mentioned earlier, our customer service positions one day in the near future will test teleworking, and we're really excited about that because in our Duluth facility, probably 550 employees there, so half of our population is our call center. So we're really excited about that. And again, a critical piece with any job going to work from home is it really needs to be the right candidate. Now, as in my bio, I talked about supporting an environment of engagement, learning, and performance. We really focus on that at Assurant Specialty Property, and we have seen results where our Teleworking program does support that. We have had few cases where we have to bring people back in, and most of those cases were either the performance went down because they're expected to stay the same or go higher, and really without 30 interruptions during the day, there should be no reason why the productivity doesn't increase. And again, as far as turnover, these employees, I recently talked to a teleworker in the focus group, and she's been teleworking for over 4 years now. So again, it just really supports our philosophy behind engagement, learning, and performance. Yes. Thank you.